Well, when I was a kid, these many years ago, when I was a kid, there was a children's show on TV. We had television back then. There was a children's show called Uncle Bobby. You might not be familiar with it. It might have just been kind of a, let's say, Eastern Canada thing. But Uncle Bobby was kind of like Mr. Dress-Up or the Polka Dot Door, or, Romper Room, any of those classic children's shows from, these many years ago. Anyway, the point is, if you're watching Uncle Bobby, the odds are really good that you were watching for one thing in particular that he was particularly famous for, and kids it was the big moment, it was the reason to watch, and that was Bimbo the Birthday Clown. Totally not making that up. Bimbo the Birthday Clown. Because then Uncle Bobby, we'd have the song, Bimbo, Bimbo, he's a birthday clown, Anyway, you'd have the song, but then Uncle Bobby would say people's names. And if it was your birthday and your name came up, even if it didn't happen to be, because your parents had called in or sent it in or whatever, it was pretty exciting because your name, you were mentioned on TV. Uncle Bobby knew where you were. Actually, now that I think about that, that's frightening. But anyway, it's pretty exciting because you get the birthday song, and it'd be fun because your name was so. I know. Last week we had a bunch more. It's Beth's birthday, Morgan, Janine, Cindy, and most importantly, I gotta say, no offense to everybody else, but earlier last week, it was Elisa's birthday. She's 9 now, which means she's going to be getting her license soon. She'll be driving, voting, doing that stuff. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Bimbo, Bimbo, he's a birthday clown, I can't remember the rest of the song. But if you look it up if you YouTube it, I'm sure it's there. So happy birthday. It's exciting to have your birthday. It's exciting to have your name mentioned in public. Okay, so not everybody's always happy about that. And actually, let's be honest, not everybody's always happy on their birthday either, which is fine, which is okay, because you're allowed. You should feel the way you feel and not have to worry about whether or not, somebody thinks that's right or wrong or, judging you for how you feel. We're not really very good with that. You know who's good with that? Jesus. I always think when Jesus met people, I know I say this all the time, but I always think when Jesus met people, the first thing he'd say is, how are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? And he wasn't saying that just as a greeting, the way we so often do. He wasn't just expecting people to say, fine, because it's a greeting, and move on. I think he was truly hoping people would say, because people's feelings were important to Jesus. And more than just feelings, how people were, their being, was important to Jesus. And so he'd ask, and I think people would tell him, because that's important too. It's important to remember that it's not just about asking, it's about telling, sharing your story. And when that story gets shared, this is what I think was so great about Jesus. I think he'd start with, how are you? And then he'd listen. He'd listen. He wanted people to say. And then when they did, he'd say, he wouldn't say stuff like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way, or don't feel that way, or anything. He'd say, it's okay to feel that way. It's absolutely okay to feel that way. And then I think he'd say something like, why do you think you feel that way? Because he'd want to talk to people. He'd want to find out more. He'd want to know stuff. Because how people were feeling in their heart, in their mind, was important to Jesus. It was also important for Jesus to acknowledge it, to say, that's okay. How can I help you? I think that was really important to Jesus. And so it was really important to Jesus that people would say. And sometimes we're not really good with that because it takes both parts, right? It's about relationship. And that's why I think Jesus was so good at that. He'd ask people and he'd listen, and he wouldn't judge anybody. He'd want to help. It's also important to be able to say, and so it's important to know how we're feeling and to know that that's okay. And the other thing, but we say feelings like feelings are just in your heart, but they're not, are they? They're in your mind too. See, I think your mind and your heart work together. Well, I think your whole body, your whole being works together. I think your mind can feel just like your heart can think. I think your body can think too. I think it works together. So it's important to know your feelings and to be able to share them. So today, I want to share a book with you today that I think is pretty awesome. And just remind you that your wholeness, your mind, your heart, your body, work together. This is a book called In My Heart. In My Heart, a book of feelings by Joe Witek, illustrated by Christine Rusi. My heart is full of feelings. Big feelings and small feelings. Loud feelings and quiet feelings. Quick feelings and slow feelings. My heart is like a house with all these feelings living inside. Sometimes my heart feels like a big yellow star, shiny and bright. I smile from ear to ear and twirl around so fast I feel as if I could take off into the sky. This is when my heart is happy. Other times, my heart feels strong. I stand up tall as if I can touch the clouds. New people and places don't frighten me. I can do it. Watch me go. This is when my heart is brave. When I get really angry, my heart feels as if it's going to explode. Don't come near me. My heart is yelling, hot and loud. This is when my heart is mad. But other times, my heart is cool. I bob along gently like a balloon on a string. My heart feels lazy and slow, as quiet as snowfall. This is when my heart is calm. On harder days, mean words hurt my feelings, and my heart feels hurt too. It's fragile and delicate, but it can be healed with extra kisses. This is when my heart is broken. Some days my heart feels as heavy as an elephant. There's a dark cloud over my head and tears fall like rain. This is when my heart is sad. But my heart doesn't stay sad. Like springtime after winter, the sun comes out again. My heart grows tall like a plant reaching toward the sky. This is when my heart is hopeful. Eek! When I see something scary, my heart beats fast. I feel cold as if a chilly breeze has crawled up my neck, and I run away as fast as I can. This is when my heart is afraid. When it's time for a bit of fun, my heart feels full of giggles and wiggles. Abracadabra! I hop around like a bouncy bunny. This is when my heart is silly.
Sometimes I hide my heart away where no one can see, like my own small treasure. I don't want anyone to look at me. Safe on my swing, I can watch the world from up above. This is when my heart is shy. My heart can feel so many feelings, and yours can too. Today, my heart is proud. How does your heart feel?